I wanted to do a little update on how I'm going with the medication. Um, yeah, I feel alright on them. That I don't feel tired or anything or zoned out, but it has got rid of quite a bit of the noise. Um, it's a lot quieter in my head now. To the point that I turned on my music. And it was so fucking loud. I was like, fucking hell. Like, seriously, is that how loud it had to be to drown out all the fucking shit that was going on in my head? And yeah, it's got rid of all the sort of negative voices in my head. Um, so it's been really weird having to like readjust to them not being there. Um, and as well, like it's weird being overwhelmed by silence. Um, so yeah, so I only got good things to say really. Um, I was gonna, I was it? Oh fuck! Here we go. I forgot to mention on the last one about when I went to pick up the medication, and because I'd been in such a state, when I went to pick it through, I walked into the mental hospital, and um, yeah, they just buzzed me straight through. Didn't ask why I was there or anything. They just let me straight through, and I wandered through, and then just went on this mad adventure, trying to find the pharmacy, and pretty much ended up on the wards. So don't know how I managed to do that, but I did. I thought that was quite funny. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much my update that I wanted to give today. So bye. We started this week's one-to-one with a talk about the 6-week assessment, which I have on Monday, and my thoughts and feelings towards it. And, I used to be really scared by it and be like, oh shit, they're going to kick me off and all that lot, but I can't see any reason why they should now. It's not like I haven't tried, or, and so it is what it is, and it's designed to help me and to make sure I'm getting the best sort of treatment. So how can that be a bad thing? um, I asked them to change direction or focus of my treatment. So instead of trying to understand the feelings of others and other people in general, I want to focus on myself. you know what's the point in trying to understand others when you don't even know what's going on in your own body or in your own mind? And I think that's going to be the sort of most beneficial thing for me to do, is to actually look at myself and learn to like myself. Um, so yeah, so that's the new challenge of this sort of treatment now, is for me to like myself. Um, So yeah, that kind of came about because we were talking about how I feel when people pay me a compliment, or you know, and I've mentioned it before that those sort of things mean nothing to me, because it feels like they're liking a lie, because this isn't my body, this isn't you know how I should be 100%, if you know what I mean. So if someone likes me when I'm hyper, I might not. I might just be play acting that hyper, because I just don't want people to know how fucking shit I feel inside. And it's it's like everyone likes an actor, but they don't like the person. If that makes sense. Um, so yeah, so it was sort of. I think yeah. Yeah, and I want to be able to kind of think without all these sort of mental blocks kicking in and stopping me, and it's just sort of, yeah, I just want to learn to have control and to actually be happy in the situation that I am, and that's all I hope to gain from therapy now. So yeah, so there isn't really much more I really want to say until Monday, because that's doomsday, if that's the right word, or the day of judgment, that's the better one. So yeah, see you all then. In group today, someone was talking about having about being dependent on one of their ex-partners for their care plan, and it kind of, when I was asked about how did I feel about it, the only way I could associate with it was having had a boyfriend that did act as my carer, and I think from my experience that was the worst thing to have, because um, it changes the whole dynamic of the relationship. It goes from being about two individuals who care about each other into being about one being sick and the other one having to look after them. And in a way, that takes away the power from the individual that needs the care plan, because you become so dependent on them that you can't really start to work or function on your own. And I found that since I broke up with the guy, um, I've had to become more independent. I've had to do my own things, and it becomes very clear when you look back on it that the reason probably there was some problems was the fact that they did act as your carer, and it meant that they cared too much, or cared more than they could actually provide, or wanted to do more they can actually do. So the reality of actually providing care and maintaining an emotional relationship just don't go hand in hand. Well, that's from my experience anyway. So yeah, that's pretty much what we discussed about in care in group. And yeah, it was sort of, they asked how I felt about having have had that in a relationship, and I said the worst part is the bit where you come to realize that that is what's happening, that you have become just this sort of that person that needs to be looked after, or you become a need for the other person, that you fulfill their need to care for you, and it kind of hurts, but you learn from your mistakes. So I know now not to ever in the future make a boyfriend my carer. My assessment on Monday went went well. It was really, really hard, and well, hard going and really draining. Um, I don't really like the consultant psychiatrist that's there. Not there, that's in control of my care, that I met for the first time. Um, I just don't trust him. Um, I mean, a few days before the assessment, I had my shadow say, he'll lie, but make you out to be the liar. And there was a point where I was explaining to him about the shadow and the darkness, and it just felt like he didn't believe me, and that really frustrated me, because what can you do to someone that just keeps asking you the same question again and again, which you don't even know the answer to? And yeah, so I kind of got a bit frustrated during it, and they did the whole seeing if I'm a threat to the public with my violence and my sort of anger, which luckily I'm not at the moment, so that's good. So yeah, so from what I gathered from the assessment, I'm still on the treatment program, which is which is fucking awesome. That's what I was hoping for. And, you know, like I said, they didn't really have any reason not to keep me on the course. So yeah, I had a phone call yesterday from the Mental Health Foundation because I applied to be a media volunteer. So when like newspapers and that sort of thing want to do an article or do a feature on some aspect of mental health, I'll be one of the people that they can talk to. So yeah, so I'm really excited about that because I pretty much got the all clear to be part of that, which is fucking awesome because, you know, helping others to understand mental health and what it's like living with mental health is sort of what I want to do in the future. Like, be a sort of spokesperson to sort of say to others, like, look at me, if I can do it, then so can you. And also just to kind of get rid of the stigma that, like, you know, having a mental illness diagnosis is like a death sentence, and that's it, everything's ruined. So yeah, so you know, it's been a really positive week this week. Like, everything's kind of gone my way. So I had a really good one-to-one yesterday. I was in a really, really positive sort of frame of mind, and um, yeah, we were just sat talking about all the sort of good things I've achieved over the past sort of week. You know, I've submitted a book to be published. I've submitted a play to some competition thing. I obviously had the phone call about the sort of media volunteering, and all in all, I've been in a really, really, really good place. Um, I am aware, of course, that a lot of it is due to the meds reducing all the sort of negative noise in my head, and in a way, it kind of makes me sort of conscious that I have to take my medication every day, because otherwise, all the sort of bad shit will come back, which we don't want. And yeah, she was. It was just all really positive, and like she did make a mention of saying that her fear is that because I've mentioned that I have these big, massive sort of positive rushes every now and again, um, that when I crash at the end of it, if someone upsets me, then I go on a big self-destruction and sod everything. And all they asked is that I don't sod the treatment, that I maintain it, and you know I intend to. And you know, I think the assessment on Monday, how it went in my favour, has really helped with my mood, because I was half expecting them to say, no, fuck off, you can't be on this treatment anymore, especially given the fact that I have psychotic symptoms, which apparently is not allowed on the thing. But to my favour, they're overlooking that and just focusing on the fact that they can in some way help me. So yeah, so this positive weekend's on a positive. Yay! In therapy yesterday, my therapist said something that really upset me, and you know, it's kind of stuck with me until today. And it's we were talking about how lonely I felt because, you know, I don't see how anyone can understand exactly what I'm going through, and because of that, I just feel like I'm going through it all on my own. And she turned around and said, you know, you don't ask people that question because you fear rejection from it. But by having that viewpoint, you're rejecting your friends. And I was like, how is that rejecting my friends? By saying that, you know, that I don't think that they truly can understand what I'm going through. And she went, well, that's a rejection of a rejection of the idea that they might actually understand.
Because apparently you don't need to have gone through exactly the same thing to understand it. But, you know, how can someone that doesn't hear shit and see shit and have to be on meds to stop all that crap from happening, how can they understand what it's like to live like that? You know, it's just feels so fucking lonely. And yeah, I've got friends. But you don't. You know, you just need one person that can kind of be there for you. You know, understand. Instead, I'm just here on my own, going through all this shit on my own. And as much as, you know, I know that I'm doing it for myself now, I don't see any fucking point for doing it to myself. You know, it's just so fucking lonely. You know, just I just wish there was someone that could just understand exactly how I'm feeling.